Hello, my name is Matthew, and I'd like to go over with you a little bit about Windows 8. In October of 2012, Windows 8 was released to the public and offered a very different platform from its Windows 7 predecessor. Many of the changes include more effective internal antivirus software, cloud storage, formerly known as SkyDrive, now known as OneDrive, Windows Store apps, the introduction of tiles instead of shortcuts, and near-field communication, which actually allows devices to wirelessly communicate with each other, transfer files and that kind of thing without any type of cables. It was developed in response to the Apple operating system, iOS, and the Android OS mobile platforms, and designed specifically to run on all devices while remaining stable and secure. It also introduced new recovery options. There are some people that think that Windows 8 goes too far in the mobile arena, which is valid given its counterintuitive performance on a desktop. However, there are two notable advantages for users with this operating system: the Windows push-button reset and the Windows Store apps. The Windows push-button reset eliminates time-consuming reinstallation processes if you have a failure with your computer. In the past, you could use system recovery and roll your system back to a time before your problem. But if you forgot to set a restore point, or if important data was set up afterwards, then you were kind of dead in the water. The Windows Store apps were introduced in February of 2012, and there are roughly 300,000 apps available. And another advantage is the fact that it's more mobile and more stable. It's the first formidable mobile platform available. If you're familiar with any of the older Windows mobile platforms, they were quite miserable to work with. It took a savvy user to be able to operate them. With push-button reset, you have two different ways to go about refreshing your PC or resetting it. First, obviously, is the refresh your PC option, which basically sets all of your user data aside, pictures, tiles, applications downloaded, that kind of thing, throws the old operating system out along with its issues, and reinstalls a new operating system from an image file that is saved on the hard drive. The other option is the reset your PC option, which completely wipes out the device and starts you over as if you had just blocked the device right out of the box. So next here we're going to go over some of the disadvantages. It was obviously designed more for a mobile platform. It was introduced a little bit late into the market as far as mobile platforms go. iPhone was introduced in 2007, Android in 2008, and of course Windows in 2012. Apple and Android have over 1 million apps, whereas the Windows platform only has 300,000. Windows 8 lacks usability on desktops or laptops, and it's not as intuitive on those particular setups. Windows Store apps and Windows Phone apps are currently separate, so if you download an application on your computer, it's likely that it won't transfer over to a mobile device like your phone or a tablet. And the push-button reset backup is not complete yet. There are settings and things like that that will be missed. Windows 8 can be considered revolutionary operating system versus evolutionary, meaning that it's the first platform to be able to work across all devices in the manner that it does. It is succeeding despite the shortcomings. It's gaining traction in the market. It's laying the groundwork for a successful future for other operating systems to come in and be even more powerful than what Windows 8 has been. And the late introduction is not necessarily a bad thing. If you remember Palm, when they were around, their platforms failed pretty badly. BlackBerry, when it tried to get into the application game, is still not doing so well. And then Kin, which was a Windows-backed operating system, was designed to be only for social media users, and it failed pretty badly as well. So the late introduction isn't necessarily bad because it's offering the options that it should to be successful. So there are a few different ways to go about the push button reset option. The paths include Update and Recovery tool under PC settings, using the control panel, which is set up very much like what it was in Windows 7, the Windows Recovery environment, also known as Windows RE, and the recovery time with push button reset is typically less than 20 minutes. You can get as low as 6 minutes, depending on the amount of information that's on a user's device. But the PC settings path is the easiest on Windows 8. So the steps to be able to complete the push button reset are going to be displayed here. The first of which is going to be through the PC settings. So what you'll do is you'll click on the arrow on the start screen. You'll go into the start screen, click on the arrow that's on the lower left part of the screen, and then it will direct you into a screen that's called the apps. This is where all the apps are stored. They're all listed in alphabetical order. So what we'll do is we look for the P, and then we go to PC settings. And once we select that, you'll see this loading screen. And then once you're in, Update and Recovery is going to be at the very bottom. You'll select that, and then you'll choose Recovery, and then you'll be presented with these three options. Once you select one of the options that you'd like to do, the computer will walk you through what it is that you need to do to be able to complete it successfully. So the second path is the control option. So in order to get in there, the control panel option. So to be able to get in there, you're going to click on the Windows icon on the lower left-hand corner of the screen in the start screen. And once you right-click on that, you're going to choose the control panel option and select it. And then you'll be presented with this screen. Once you're in this screen, you'll select System and Security. You'll go to Action Center and select that. And then once you select that, you'll go in and you'll select where it says Recovery. And then you are presented with three options again to be able to recover your computer. The third path is Windows Recovery option, the Windows RE option. This is generally reserved for hard drive replacement or catastrophic failure. So what this does is it allows you to create a reset image and load it onto an external drive, USB drive, CD drive, DVD drive, external hard drive. You can load that reset image onto any one of those things. And it's smart to do because the blue screen of death does still exist. It's not quite as common anymore, but of course it is much better to be safe than sorry. The next big advantage of Windows 8 is the Windows Store Apps option, and this gives people the ability to be entertained or productive. It actually extends the use of traditional Windows operating system platforms. So in order to be able to use the apps, you'll need to set up a Windows Live account. So if you haven't done that, once you select this icon here, it will walk you through the steps to set up a Windows Live account. And basically all that is just a Microsoft email. And once you've done that, you'll be able to access the Store Apps, and you'll select this app here. And I've chosen two apps to download, one for entertainment and one for productivity. And the first one is going to be the productivity one. This is Microsoft certification. So you'll see in here many options. You can either browse or search, a lot of browsing options. But because we know what app we want to get, we can type in Microsoft certification up here in the search bar and then hit the magnifying glass. Once that happens, you're into the next screen where it brings up options related to what you've typed in. And we want the Microsoft Training and Certification Guide. So we'll go over to it, click on it, and then we'll be directed into the installation screen. It'll give us our ratings and kind of an overview of what it's about, a description as well. In order to install it, simply click the Install button. The next application that I chose was TuneIn Radio. which is pretty cool. It allows you to listen to radio stations across the nation via satellite. Basically, in order to download this type of application, you go through the exact same steps that we did for Microsoft certification. You go up here, type in TuneIn, search it, and select it, and then you're into the install screen. In order to install that, you just hit the install button again. And once you've installed it, you have the ability to go back and see what you've installed. So this right here, as you can see, it says new. This is the Microsoft Training and Certification one. And here's the TuneIn Radio one. Again, everything is alphabetically ordered up, so it's easy to find. You can turn these into tiles if you'd like, or you can leave them in the Windows Store Apps menu area. That's all I have on Windows 8. Despite the controversy surrounding Windows 8, there are quite a few advantages to it. Obviously, the two that I went over were Windows Push Button Reset and the Windows Store Apps. Even though the Windows Reset isn't completely done, completely perfect, it still is a much better option than it was before. This system, Windows 8, is certainly paving the way for future operating systems. The advantages and disadvantages that is uncovered will only strengthen Windows in its future endeavors. Thank you for listening.